Welcome back for the nutshell review. Okay, first, the interest group matrix is a simple but powerful tool that directs your attention to the overall lay of the political land, or switching metaphors, to the net direction of the political winds and tides. A key concept in the interest group matrix is effective political organization. To be organized means a group knows its interests, can articulate a feasible political program, can mobilize its members in support of this program, and create incentives that politicians pay attention to. Organization makes a group a potentially effective player in politics. Lack of organization generally precludes effectiveness. Organization requires someone to accept the burden of leadership and others to accept the discipline of followership. 3, the interest group matrix has beginner, intermediate, and advanced uses. The beginner use is characterize the prevailing interest group configuration, anticipate the probable politics, and identify the likely tactics that will be employed under each type of politics by both sides. There are 4 stylized interest group configurations, and each tends to give rise to a distinctive kind of politics. The monopoly pro configuration usually yields client politics. The monopoly con configuration usually yields entrepreneurial politics. The competitive configuration usually yields interest group politics, and the diffuse configuration usually yields majoritarian politics. Client politics strongly favors the supporters of a new policy, but they still have to overcome the huge status quo bias of American politics arising from multiple choke points. In client politics, proponents of a new policy typically employ persuasion, speed, and stealth. Opponents need to get organized, but a good tactic is also sunshine, trying to fight speed and stealth. Client politics is conducive to rent-seeking, using government to reduce competition, enforce price fixing and cartels, or otherwise enrich Peter by picking Paul's pocket. Entrepreneurial politics strongly favors the status quo. In entrepreneurial politics, proponents of a new policy need to become organized. Finding a political entrepreneur who's willing to do the work of organizing and devising strategy is usually essential. For opponents, a key tactic is delay, since delay is often equivalent to victory. Interest group politics is not as biased toward the status quo as entrepreneurial politics, but not as conducive to enactments as client politics. In interest group politics, a key tactic for both sides is coalition building for oneself and coalition breaking with respect to the other side. Good coalitions marry groups with diverse resources, firms, wealthy individuals, foundations that have money, mass membership organizations that have vote power, and public interest organizations that have hardworking researchers and litigators, and often some degree of latent public support. A good tactic for opponents of a proposal is sowing fear and doubt about change. Majoritarian politics rarely results in policy change. Diffuse groups need to get organized. Catastrophes, scandals, or high visibility events may boost the salience of the proposal, so a good tactic is to be prepared to move when such an event occurs. An intermediate use of the interest group matrix involves judo politics, moving from a bad interest group configuration to a better one. An advanced use of the interest group matrix is to use a new policy to permanently hardwire a favorable interest group configuration into place. Using long-term judo politics, new policies can create new politics. The point of creating the favorable configuration is to ensure the long-term political sustainability of the program. Failure to hardwire a new policy means reverting to the earlier interest group configuration and the earlier kind of politics.